Absolutely, absolutely, and I don't like to call it PTSD, but it's I have suffered from that greatly after I got back, and I mean, severely,
Yeah.
but I worked my way through it because I couldn't get help from anywhere. So, but basically one of the things I did was keep busy, and I went to work, and I became a police officer, and that just kept me going, and then I worked the streets of Denver for a long time, then became a detective, and they sent me over to the Joint Terrorism Task Force, and I spent almost 14 years there. And I got to tell you, that was a great experience for me, especially in the terrorism field and that kind of thing. It kept me going. It kept me busy.
Yeah.
And but I knew a lot of guys that were former military guys, and some guys were in special forces and that, and they talked to me, and we became friends. And they'd look at me and go, some people hide crazy really well.
I can't well, I mean, dude, I
And I
can't
go,
imagine like spending
yeah,
444 days in Iran as a detainee,
yeah,
like a prisoner of war.
yeah.
That I don't know, like there's no way for anybody to be able to wrap their head around what that must have been like. There's just no way if unless you experience it firsthand,
Yeah.
I can't even begin to imagine. Like the things that we complain about, especially myself, like, oh, I didn't get enough sleep last night.
Yeah.
Like it really it pales in comparison with the things you must have experienced while you were held in
Oh, yeah.
captivity there.
Yeah, it wasn't great, I'll tell you. It's just like the whole beginning, the whole start of the whole thing, like, the first day when they came to the embassy. Well, let me get started. So they'd been doing demonstrations in front of the embassy for weeks, and then, one particular night, the ambassador had a dinner at the house, said, "I want everybody to come to dinner, and all the Marines, I want everybody there." I said, "Okay," but they left a couple Marines over at the embassy on duty. And I remember that night we had the dinner and everything went pretty well. And I left, was going back to our apartment, and we didn't live on the compound. The Marines didn't because they'd blown up the Marine house previously, and so we couldn't live in it. So we lived outside the embassy compound, across the alley in the Dr. Johnshi apartments. So we couldn't take weapons with us out there or anything else. So once we left the compound, we had nothing on us. But anyway, so I remember that evening after I left, I forgot my boots. I had 2 pairs of boots, but one pair I left at the embassy with our REACT gear in case we had to put it on. But we needed polish, and they ran out of polish over at the embassy, and they need to be polished because it's been sitting there forever. So I went and picked them up, and I took them back, and I polished them up. Went to bed, got up in the morning. I'm walking across in the morning, and I remember about halfway there, I said, "Oh, I forgot my boots." And I said, "Oh, it's okay. I'll be all right. I'll go at lunch and get them." And as I'm walking, I just started hearing this. But I mean, they used to come every morning and demonstrate and yell, "Mach Bottom Medic, death to America," and all kinds of stuff like